thing for it to stay like this. Oh, jeez, it's not gonna work. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Okay. Ooh, too much sun. Oh, okay. Oh, well, hello, everyone. I don't really know what the topic of my discussion is. Well, I know what the topic is. I don't really know what my points are for tonight. I um I went to a funeral today, and my chest or my heart is very, very heavy. It's heavy for many reasons. I have so many thoughts going through my mind. And as my friend Tanasha Smith, the owner of Mastery of Self Inc., and the author of Once Broken, would advise individuals to do is to speak, to talk, especially those from the Caribbean, because we don't like to talk. Well, greetings, Michaela. So today I went to a funeral for Peter. I'm not gonna say his last name, so those of you who know him, I will save myself the embarrassment. So we could call him Peter, Pastor Peter. For those of you who are not looking, his last name is Moncreeffe. So Peter passed on the 30th of July, I believe, and today was the funeral. It was a beautiful funeral to start out with. Beautiful, beautiful. Um, in, I think I'm doing this live because while I was there for about 2 hours, yes, it was today. For about 2 hours, I was constantly crying. I was sitting there, and it wasn't like I wasn't sad. Well, I'm sad that he's gone, but it wasn't like a feeling of sadness when people start to cry. For 2 hours straight, on just unlimited tears, I kept crying. I kept crying. I'm so sad for I'm so sad for the loss of Peter, or Pastor Peter, whatever people know him as, his life. I met Peter maybe about 2 years ago. He works at the All Dunamis Lifestyle Center here in Toronto at Midland and Progress, with his wife, Paulette Higgins, I believe is her last name. And I started this year on their program. Peter was my personal trainer. I saw Peter 2 days before he died. So he died the Saturday. I saw him Thursday. The center's open on Thursdays, not open on Friday. So I saw him Thursday. I was actually the last person in the center. And I just really felt like just hanging out. I stayed an extra hour after they closed. And I think I was the last one to speak with Peter from the center. He actually walked me outside when I was going towards my car. But Peter, since I've known him, has been like a bright light. Peter is always smiling as this picture. You can see that, always smiling. And just personally, my encounters with him, he's very encouraging, very supportive, very compassionate, very gentle, very kind, just a sweet man overall. The funeral today was almost 3 hours long, and usually people start looking at their time after an hour, but honestly, I didn't even remember that time even existed. The funeral was so beautiful. The first thing was that they said don't dress in black, wear anything except black. That was the dress code. And so you always have the lawless people and Christians who dress fully in black. It was a full house. The whole parking lot to the church was full. Many of us had to park on the road, on the streets, down in the neighborhood. Beautiful, beautiful funeral. Peter is also a pastor, also a worshiper. If you can see this picture on the back, loves to worship. Beautiful voice. Beautiful voice. It was shared today that He has opened for many famous people, like I think they said Shirley Caesar, Donnie, um, Kirk Franklin. Who was the first? They mentioned someone first. I can't remember his name, but a lot of famous gospel artists. So he's a pastor, worshiper, loves to teach the word of God, loves to pray. I heard that is his passion. His heart's desire is really to pray. His wife was saying people think it's worship and it's preaching, but it's really to pray. And so, oh boy, where do I start? Oh my gosh. As I said, I'm on here because my chest is really heavy. And I just figure if I don't talk, if I don't say the things that I'm thinking, it's just gonna, I don't know what's gonna happen, because I'm not really one that is overwhelmed with much emotion, but I was very overwhelmed with emotion today, from the funeral, because Peter also preached and sang and taught. They played a lot of his videos in between the persons who had to speak, and it was just lovely. When I walked in, I heard his voice. I was like, "Is that Peter?" And they were playing one of his last sermons. I believe it was in a few different parts. So in between the speakers, the singers, they would play a little portion of it, and it was just so wonderful. It was just so wonderful. And I believe his sermon was, or his teaching was called "It Is Written," and just the way they did it was just so beautiful. It was just so beautiful how they injected that in the program. It was beautiful how they injected some of his worship sessions of him singing, and they had a video of him and his wife, their vows, and Peter wrote a song on it for his wedding day. Just beautiful. It was a beautiful funeral. If it's true what they say, if the spirit truly lives on, and if Peter saw the funeral, I'm sure he would be smiling like he is in this picture, just skin and teeth, and would be so proud, so pleased, so happy to see all the people that he has touched, that he has impacted. Um, you know, sometimes I've been to funerals, sometimes there's not much to say. You go on with the regular program, you do the tribute, you do a two song, and there's not much to say about the person. They haven't really done anything. They haven't impacted anybody's life. They haven't left a mark. In the little time that I've known Peter, and I guess I can relate to what the people are saying on the stage, because when I hear them speaking, in the little time that I've known Peter, Peter has really touched me. He's touched me in how in his advice. In just when he found out that I play music, he was like, "I need a shirt." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You have any T-shirts?" I said, "I have T-shirts for myself." He's like, "I need a shirt." And he kept. I saw for about a week, 2 weeks. Peter said to me, "Where's my shirt?" I never ordered the shirt for Peter, only because I said to him, "Let me wait until I'm ordering a few. I'll get yours as well, because where I ordered from is it's about an hour from me." So I thought, let me just wait instead of ordering the one shirt. Never ordered the shirt. So Peter would see me all the time and say, "Where's my shirt?" Because I'm coming on Music Monday when I show them my shirt. Never gave it to him. That really hurt me. He when he would ask me about my program, I would tell him, and he would tell me, "Oh, this is what you can do, ABC. Um, I'm gonna help you." And I'm thinking, you don't even know me. You've just been training me for what a few weeks now, and yeah, he just was just so willing right away to start to help me. To do whatever I was doing. Even I said to him, I said, "Peter, it's free, right? I'm not getting paid to play music. It doesn't matter. It's God's work. And we must do it good." And as I heard today, Peter likes to do things well. Likes to do things well. Um, Also, when I was in the center, I remember anybody would come in, Peter would be like, "Hey, she plays music on Mondays, YouTube. Tell them the link." And I'll be like, "I'm not telling them the link, Peter." It's like, "Tell them the link." So, Peter just, and that was really kind. I've been playing music for about 2 years. Um, I don't remember anybody ever behaving like that over my music. No one has shown that much enthusiasm or excitement for my music, and to meet I would say, a stranger who doesn't know me, and he just really made me feel good. Really, really made me feel a lot more encouraged about what I'm doing. Whether it's freely, whether there's only a few people come on there, it was just his enthusiasm, his excitement for me and what I was doing. It was really touching. It was really touching, and how he wanted to help me, and even to offer to buy a t-shirt a t-shirt from me, you know. Yeah, so he just was really a bright light. Really a bright light. Oh, thanks, Michaela. Greetings, greetings. Vivian J. Nash from Real Talk. Welcome. I want to say, my friend is on here, and I didn't really want to bother her. I'm always bothering her to talk, and I could have called her, but just so many different things to say. So, Michaela, I want to thank you for always being there, and being also a bright light to me, and when I need your help. Thank you for that. So, but today I'm gonna unload it on YouTube. So I'm glad to see that you're watching. Um, yeah, Peter's always very encouraging. Even in the workouts, Peter always made sure, "Are you okay?" Or you want to make sure, I wasn't lying. I wasn't pretending to be okay. They didn't want to see me fall over, because there's some incidents where people didn't really tell the truth, and then you see them later on, like they're fainting, tumbling over in the gym. And he's like, I kept asking them, and they kept saying they were okay. So me and Peter had this little joke. He would look at me and be like, "Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay?" But Peter got to know that I'm very honest. If I wasn't okay, I would tell him. If I was not feeling a big Peter, I don't want to be here today, but hey, it is what it is. And it was said today that people would travel. I guess they had another location before the one over at Markham, before the one over at Midland, and it was said that people would travel from so far just to go because of Peter. People took the bus. People traveled from far distances, and even though they would cuss after the sessions, they would still show up. And I remember one day I just said to Peter, "I'm done. I'm leaving." And I walked out of I walked out of the middle of the workout. I was like, "Peter, this is too much. I can't take anymore." And he's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going home." He's like, "Come on, we have some more." I'm like, "Mm-mm, mm-mm. You have some more." And I left him. But when I got home, and even though I didn't want to go back the next day, I just thought, Peter's so lovely and so patient with me and so kind. I'm going back. And that would have been a week before his passing, that I did that. So I was very glad that the week of his passing, I did go for my 2 days, and I'm so grateful that I had the pleasure of speaking with him one on one the Thursday. Yeah, the Thursday night, and reason with him, and getting some little nuggets from him, and him encouraging me, and you know, um, and also it was funny because the same night he's like, are you? What time is your program?" And I said, "Peter, I'm changing the time." And he's like, "Why?" And I said, "This new work thing." He goes, "But you have to do it right." I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I said, "I'm not canceling. I'm just changing the time." So he's like, "Yo, what's the time?" And I said, "Peter, did you subscribe?" He goes, "Yeah." But I said, "I left a video." He goes, "I didn't see the video." He goes, "Pull up my phone." Takes out his phone. He's like, "Pull it up, pull it up." And I pulled the video up, and he started messaging and typing. And he goes, and he cut the bell. He goes, "See, I cut the bell." And he goes, "I left your message too." And he goes, "I'll be on Monday." Unfortunately, only Saturday came for him. Monday never came. And I'm here tonight to say a few things. Those of you who know that I speak very much on getting oneself organized, getting rid of things that's not serving you, all of that. Number one, it was said that Peter had insurance, but I want to ask you guys, do you guys have insurance? If you were to pass tomorrow, would your loved ones have to be stressed not only about your death, but also about money? Do you have insurance to cover your funeral costs, to take away the burden from your family to have to deal with that after you are gone? Have you put your financial house in order? Do you know where your money's going? Who's going to be divided among? Do you know what your wishes are? Do you know what kind of funeral you want? Do you know where you want to be buried? All these things are important conversations to have. Because when you have family quarrels, people thinking, oh, they want to do this, oh, they want to do that. But if you write it down and make it clear, you need to get yourself a will with all of your wishes in it so people know there's nobody guessing, nobody arguing, nobody telling, but you have written it clearly what your wishes are and how you would like to be remembered. Second thing I want to ask tonight is, how are you being a light in people's life? I've been to other people's funerals, and very basic, not much people going up saying anything, but Peter had so many people, so many different churches speaking about him. It was amazing. And as I sat there, I just kept crying. I just kept thinking how he has touched me. The little time that I've known him, how he has really touched me. How many people has touched you in a deep way that you can be like, you know what? If they pass tomorrow, it would impact you. Because Peter's death is impacting me. It is affecting me emotionally, mentally, and now physically because the gym is closed for almost a month. And I haven't worked out since I got the news. We're in the middle of August. He passed on July 30th. I believe they send out the message on the Sunday. So I haven't worked out since the beginning of August. So this is affecting me in all different ways. But what I want to ask you tonight is, when you pass, how will you be remembered? What are you doing to impact the lives of others? Will you be remembered? Will people have anything good to say about you? Will you leave a long lasting impression that they'll cry for you at your funeral, that their days that there's like a dent in their day if you're not there? It said that Peter made everyone feel pretty much like welcome. I'm paraphrasing using different words. Because so many different speakers said so many different things, but they're all saying the same thing. But Peter, when he came in contact with people, always smiling, always very welcoming. And how are you when you greet people? Are you pleasant? Can people say that you're always smiling? Can people say you put joy? You exhibit joy. And I also heard Peter's always praying for people. What I also heard, Peter was very humble. And I have to admit that Peter never told me he was a pastor, never told me he was a worshiper, never told me pretty much anything. I heard most of this today at the funeral, but I did hear some of it a few weeks ago because persons that I know him. Some have worked ministry with him, and Peter has never said any of these things with me. It's only one time I found out that he was working at a church, because I said to him, Peter, why you late? And he goes, I volunteer at a church and I do their outreach. I'm like, okay. But he never said I'm a pastor. He never said I'm a worshiper. He never said, oh, I love to pray. He never said I'm a teacher of the word. Never said any of that. And he said to me as I was walking to my vehicle after the service, she said to her, you know Peter personally? She said, yeah. And I said to her, Peter's been training me for so long and he's never said anything to me. I said he's always trying to, encourage me, support me, put me out there, and even others. But Peter's never, I don't remember him ever talking about himself. And she goes, that's Peter. She goes, but Peter is a big deal. When she said that, I thought, what a man with such humility is a big deal, yet never boast about himself. And numerous persons went on the stage and they said that. They said he's so humble. That was one of the words that kept coming up. Humble. Other than his smile, humble. Peter is so humble. I don't remember Peter ever walking around looking like he's proud, or he's like anybody. And Peter wasn't a man who didn't, he dressed well, he kept himself well. He wasn't like he was somebody who you think was a nobody. No, but he never told anybody the things that he did or who he was. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So it was really a joy to hear all the wonderful things that Peter was. And I was thinking to myself, I can see that. I can see that. He didn't tell me, but I can see that in the way that he talked, the way that he behaved. Sometimes people say, "Oh, I'm a Christian." You're thinking, "You're a Christian." People didn't. Nobody would have to tell me he's a Christian because I can see it in him, the way he behaves. Very respectful towards women, very respectful towards the women or the elders or the people, even the men that come into the center. Very, very respectful, very humble, very kind, a man of great humility because he no nothing was beneath him. Peter, they also said, was a server, loved to serve, loved to help out wherever he can. And I believe that just in my little encounter with him and how he wanted to help me. And yeah, what can people say about you? What are you doing to leave an impact in the world? Will you even be remembered? Will you even be remembered? Peter died at, I believe he's 49. And many persons have many different thoughts, because I believe he was recently married. So he's been married for 3 years. He was supposed to, let's see if I find his wife. His wife is, can't see her face over there, but you can see her right there. Oh, there's a better picture of him and her right there. Married for 3 years. The two of them, they're really something. You can see love on the two of them. They played some of their wedding on. Oh, it's just beautiful. And the wife tried to recreate some of the wedding today in the funeral, the color scheme, and she said he came into my life as a king, and I want him to leave as a king. And she absolutely did a fabulous job. Fabulous job. Fabulous job. Beautiful funeral. I keep saying that because it was a beautiful funeral. Beautiful singers, beautiful videos of Peter, beautiful video quality. And again, the people in the multiple different colors because they said do not wear black. It was really something. Really something. I was on the top level because the bottom level was full. But just wonderful, wonderful. I really just want to remind you guys to get your financial house in order. Write a will, state your wishes, let people know what should happen to you when you do pass. Also, this point is going to go back to what I was trying to say. Peter's 49. Many persons was thinking, oh, he died too soon. Why did God take him? All these different things. Apparently, he had a heart condition, pretty much beyond his control, unless, like I said, intervention from the Most High God. But regardless of what his age is, I know people right now who are 49 and don't know what their purpose is. I know people today who's 49 and don't know what God put them on earth to do. They don't even know themselves. They don't even know themselves. I know persons who are also in their 50s, just working dead end jobs. They have no aim, no plan for the future. But Peter, just at 49, as his wife said, Peter lived his best life. Are you living your best life? If you were to pass today, can people say you lived your best life, that your life was full? Peter's was. His was. He was a worshiper, as I said. He was a teacher of the word. He was a pastor. He worked at the clinic. He did outreach. He volunteered. He did so many different things. He traveled. He loved his children, his family. He spent time with them. And he was continuing his education. He was supposed to be going back to school in January. I heard he was also just ordained as well the week before his passing, or 2 weeks, on the 16th of July. And so bigger things was in store for him. I heard he was also he was booked up for engagements up until the New Year's. And his wife said it so wonderfully. She said, they did their regular Friday night routine. And Peter passed it in his sleep. And she said, but he passed, he passed knowing that he was loved by her, loved by God. And just Peter passed with knowing that he lived a full life. We, I know if any of us were to die, we wouldn't feel fulfilled. We wouldn't feel satisfied. We would be like, oh, I still have this to do, that to do. So I want to encourage you guys today. As Peter would say to me, Tamika, do this, this, this. And I'll be like, okay, Peter, okay, Peter. And probably if Peter was still here, I'll be like, okay, Peter. But Peter is no longer here. And those things I will do. And I will do them more speedily than I would have if he was here. And sometimes death has to take place for life to happen. Maybe life in somebody else, maybe life in the earth. Sometimes I know it is sad to say, and it was said, use an example of something that was said. Peter has received more views on one of his videos than he has in all his videos that's on YouTube since his passing. And that's how life is sometimes. A man asked me a few weeks ago if I was religious. When I asked him back, he said to me, yeah. I said, how? How so? He said, I go to church only for weddings and funerals. That man may never step foot into a church any other time of the year. And so, we might look at death as a negative thing. And yes, because a person is gone. But at the end of the day, there's a book written for each of us. And no one knows how many pages and how many years we have in the earth. So death is coming to everyone. It's coming to me and it's coming to you. The question is, have you done all that you needed to do? Have you done God's work? Have you said yes to the things that you should be saying yes to, and say no to things that you need to say no to? Have you lived a full life? Or are you still wondering what your purpose is? Are you still wondering what you need to do? Do you still have things that you know you should have taken care of, but you haven't? Take care of them today. Take care of them today. There's many talk about I don't know. Many talk about people saying the Lord is coming back soon. And yes, and I said, God, the people are always talking about you coming back soon, and this is what they say over 2,000 years ago. I'm thinking, is it only 2,000? It's not 3,000 or 4,000, because it's always 2,000 years. Anyways, I haven't done the calculations. I don't know. The point is, soon can be tonight for me, soon can be tomorrow for you on the road, and soon can be for somebody on the weekend. So we don't need to worry ourselves about, oh, I've been hearing that from so long. God's coming back soon, and God is not here. And I don't think he's coming back, or nobody knows when soon is. It doesn't matter. Soon can be tonight for you. And yes, obviously you can't accomplish all of your heart's desires tonight. But what you can do tonight is accept Jesus. You can say yes to the Lord. Ask him to forgive you of the things that you know that you shouldn't have done, that you had no business doing, being a part of, getting involved in, and say, what, Lord, I say yes to you and I choose you. As a pastor said, one of his last songs was I Surrender All. When he sang, I believe it was would have been two Sabbaths ago, he mentioned. That's one of Peter's last songs, I Surrender All. What a wonderful song for him to sing as a last song. I'm sure he sung many other songs on his own privately, but we're talking about in the church. Yeah, tonight, soon can be even the next 5 minutes for you. Is your life right? Yes, we might want to make it right with people. We might want to make it right with the bank, make it right with the credit card company, make it right but is it right with the Lord? So why don't tonight you just make a decision, say yes to the Lord. Say, yes, Lord, forgive me for not saying yes sooner. Forgive me for going my own way. Because just like Peter's death was sudden and unexpected, yours too can be sudden and unexpected. I just want to show his thing again. Those of you don't know who I'm talking about, there he is. Peter, a bright light, even a worshiper, loved to sing, love, 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 love. And his voice was beautiful too. I used to watch his webinars that they would have at the Dunamis Center, and he's always come on and pray and sing. I was like, oh, what a beautiful voice, but I never knew that he had so many opportunities and did so many things and wrote songs. Oh, his songs are beautiful. Anyways, what a man of talents and gifts. Truly gone too soon, but as Peter said in one of his sermons, who are we to ask God anything? Don't question God. And in his words, and I'm going to honor them, I'm not going to ask God why, how come, anything. No. Because we might say, oh, he's gone too soon, but maybe God only wrote 49 years in his book for him. You know, we have our own ideas of when people should pass. If you follow some of us, we think nobody should pass. Even when our parents are suffering and they're frail and they have their quality of life is absolute, we think they should live on forever and ever. So sometimes we don't even have any conscience when people should go, or desire or understand that they have to go at some point. Obviously, it is not man's it's not our choice or man's call to take man's life. But I mean, when we know it's one, when we know that someone has passed, and if they're, whether if they're old or they're young, we like to say they shouldn't have. But we don't know what, maybe that was maybe that was their assignment, to come to earth so that this could take place. Because Peter's death, I know, is going to birth some things. It's going to propel some things. It's going to change some things. So despite that Peter is gone, I know his death is going to, it's going to do some things. Yeah, yeah. It's going to allow some people to say yes to things they were saying no to before. It's going to allow some people even look into their health. It's going to allow some people to look into, examine their life and say, am I doing enough? Will I be remembered like this? I know when I leave this earth, I want to be remembered as a bright light in people's lives. I want to be remembered as somebody who loved the Lord and who made people smile. Those are my two aim. Two aims. That's it. I don't have any more aims. I have no more aims other than those two. In whatever capacity the Lord allows me to do it in, that's fine. But those are my two aims. I just want to love the Lord with all my heart, my soul, my mind, and my strength. And I want to put a smile on people's face. I want when people encounter me, I can give them an encouragement. I can bring some kind of peace or joy to them. Something. I want to leave an impact in people's lives. I don't want to be. I don't want to be just taking occupying space. I don't want to just be occupying space, and people see me and I'm a nobody. I don't want to be a nobody in people's lives. Even if I'm the woman that said hello to them, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But if you know that I work at Home Depot, many times I see customers are like, "Oh, that's the Home Depot lady," and they may not remember my name, and that's okay. But they remember me enough to want to say hello. They want to come and shake my hand. They want to come and give me a hug. And when I'm at work, I would never know that they have those feelings towards me. It is when I am on the road, Pastor Georgie, greetings. It is when I'm on the road I get to see that, and I realize that people like me, or people miss me. But when I'm at work, I don't know that, and so many people are going to start doing some things because of Peter. Peter has left a mark in people's lives, and I pray that we too will leave marks in people's lives. But number one, how about we leave a mark for ourselves, that we love the Lord? Why don't we say yes to Him tonight? Say yes to Him now if you haven't said yes to Him. Say yes to the Most High God and ask Him to use you. Use you. Peter. They said when he was 3, they said he didn't speak to us about 3, and he held the mic and he gave a sermon. And how many of us can say we've had a enriched life from a young youth? Not many of us. Some of us start late in life, like myself, starting late. I'm starting so late in life. So late. But I will not allow another year to pass me where I am not moving towards the things that I desire. No longer will I procrastinate and delay in doing the things that I want to be remembered for. And so today I just want to encourage you guys to examine yourself, examine your life. Are you where you want to be? Are you where you imagined yourself when you were younger, or even just a few years ago? And if you're not, God is the God of all things, the God of acceleration and the God of speed. God can accelerate you to be where you need to be. Let's leave out like Peter. As his wife said, Peter lived his best life. Are you living your best life today? Are you living your best life today? I said, Peter was a worshiper. He was a teacher of the word, a pastor. He had a prayer thing. I don't know if it's a line, but I heard that there were many persons all over the world on it, which was started during COVID. I heard that Peter's heart's passion is to pray. It might seem like it's everything else that the public sees, but it's what he does privately that allows him to be a great worshiper, a great preacher, and a great teacher. He was also a personal trainer. Yeah, wonderful husband, father, friend, brother, so many things Peter was. But I don't want to only just be remembered as a good daughter or a good friend. I'll be remembered as much more than that. Much more than not just the roles that I play, but the impact that I had in people's lives. So I'm gonna stop talking. I just wanted to share that your impact in people's lives doesn't have to take a long time. It can be just one encounter. Because even from the first day I met Peter, he was still a bright light to me. And I want to admit something. Peter had a strong conviction towards, I'll call it lying. I wouldn't call him a liar. He liked to run joke. So he would like run a joke and say something like something very very, and it wasn't, I wouldn't even call it, I guess if it's not truth, it's lie, but it's not like a lie. It'd be like, he would be like, how are you doing? Oh gosh, I want to give a very good example. A very good example that doesn't take away from his integrity. I don't know. Peter was saying something like, I say, let's say I said to Peter, "Oh, Peter, did you work out today?" For example, and he'll be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." He'll be like, "No, no, no, I'm joking, I'm joking, I'm joking." He'll be like, and he'll be like, quickly say, "No, Lord, forgive me. I was lying." He did it so many. He did it, I want to say, I don't want to say so many times, but he did a few times with just little jokes. And he'd be like, "No, no, no, I'm just joking. I'm lying. I'm lying." Or he would say, "Do 20 when you meant 10," and then he would quickly, like, he had this strong conviction of the Holy Spirit and not wanting to displease the Lord. So even in joking around, if it wasn't 100% truth, he would quickly, I heard him quickly repent and say what was true. And we should be like that because we're going to be judged for every idle word, every wasteful, idle, cursing, every word it's going to be weighed and we're going to be judged. And Peter had a strong conviction for truth, for telling truth, and for doing away with lying. And again, one wouldn't call it lying. It's not like I know I don't want to sound shady. A lie is a lie. If I say to you, "Oh, how are you doing?" You say you're okay and you're lying. It's a lie. You might say, "Oh, that's the right thing to say." It's still a lie. So that's an example. Peter would be like, "Oh, I'm okay," but Peter would. That's not a good example because we never spoke about. He never had a conviction or a lie about that. But I'm just saying something that's very common. We wouldn't call it directly a lie, but it's not. It's not 100. It's not the 100% truth. Okay, and in something as simple as that you might just casually just say, because it's just a thing to do or thing to say. If it's not 100% truth, it is lie. But for him, if it wasn't the right answer, the correct answer, he would quickly repent and apologize to the Lord. And I have to admit, I'm not really a small talker. I'm not a small talker. When I have to pretend and say, "Oh, hi, how are you?" because it's expected of me, it's not from my heart. I'm being honest, and I have to struggle with that because I'm like, okay, well, people want me to say that. They want me to start up the conversation that way. But in my heart, I'm thinking there's a few things. One, I'm just in past, and I honestly don't really in the moment don't really care how you're doing. It's just something to kill the dead silence. Or if I remain silent, I don't want to appear rude, so it's a thing to say. But then the thing to say is me going against myself, and I'm lying. Come and ask you how you're doing. I don't really have the time to really hear, even if something was really wrong. And I will tell you guys a story. A few years ago, I was running from my bus. Need to catch my bus. ran out my apartment, got into the elevator. There was a man in there. Asked him how he was doing. I really cared this time. He started to give me a story about how he was doing. And I was thinking, oh no. And I'm looking at my bus app, okay? The bus is coming like 3 minutes. I have to get downstairs and I have to run out to the bus stop. And I'm looking at this bus. I'm thinking, oh God, this man really wants to talk. We get to the first floor and I'm thinking, oh my, I'm going to have to cut this man because I can't hear what he has to say. That thing has, one would say, traumatized me ever since. If I don't have the time to hear what's wrong, I don't want to ask you. If I can't give my full attention, and that is it. One might be like, oh well, Tamika, you're not very nice because you don't want to ask people how they're doing. No, that situation really hurt me. Because we expect people to say, oh, I'm okay, and keep moving. See, we are accustomed to the lie. Yeah, we're accustomed to the lie. Same, like when people had the mask on, people used to complain for, oh, you're not smiling. When the mask was on, nobody cared if you were smiling. They couldn't care less. They didn't even want you to come near them. The same people who said, oh, you need to smile, you need to fix your face, you need to this. They couldn't care less how your face looked once you had on the mask and you were far from them, right? So you see, people are like light switches. You switch on, switch off, switch on. Yeah, they're like switches. 1 minute is this, the next minute it's to suit them. So for me, if I don't have the time to know how you're doing, I don't want to ask you. I don't want to ask you. I don't think it's fair in a 2 second pass and hi, how are you? Just to that's not a conversation. I can't even say just to have a conversation. It's not a conversation. Because what if I'm really suffering from something? If somebody had asked me today, how was I doing? I couldn't answer them positively because I'm not doing well. I haven't. I went to the funeral. I wasn't doing well. I cried for 2 hours straight. I drove crying. I went to the store crying. Everything I did today, I did with tears running out my eyes. If somebody's asked me, "Oh, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm okay." If I said, what, that would have been what a lie. I say, "Oh, I'm not doing too well," and they probably would be like, oh, "Okay," and walked away because nobody stops to listen. Nobody stops to listen what you're gonna say because they expect you to say, "Oh, you're okay." So if I really want somebody to talk to, and they asked me and I answered and they just walked away, that would have been devastating to me also. So, anybody, people can think whatever they want to think. I want to stick with my own, what I have to say. I'm not a small talker. I don't believe in engaging in how are you questions when I don't have time to respond appropriately and with concern if something is wrong, if you even share that something is wrong. And the next side of it is I don't want you lying to me, oh, I'm okay, because it's the thing to say, because then that's not operating in a spirit of truth either. You're lying. You're lying. And I also don't like people asking me how am I doing, because sometimes I'm thinking I'm not telling you my business, and I have to go lie to you, tell you I'm okay, just to suit what you want to hear. And sometimes anyways, I'm not on here for this. But God bless Peter. Oh my gosh, he's missed. He's going to be missed. And I'm going to take a page from Peter's book and I'm going to live my best life. I'm going to live my best life. Do the things that I have to do. Say yes to the best and stop saying yes to second best. Say no to the things that I need to say no to and stop wasting time with things and people and places that have no business having my time or attention. And so I pray you guys will get your house in order, your financial house. Get insurance, get a will, let people know what you want, avoid that burden. Identify what you need to start putting in order. Put it in order. Identify what you need to say yes to. Start saying yes. And yeah, live your best life, you guys. Live your best life. Because if God calls you home next week, you want to say, yeah, I was living my best life. So God bless you guys. God bless you guys.